You know what that sound means. It's review time, and today we're going to review the 1985 classic B movie, American Ninja, starring Michael Dudikoff, who you may remember from other movies, mostly American Ninja movies.
Yeah, I actually never heard of Michael Dudikoff prior to this screening of American Ninja, which sucks because, well, we'll get into it.
Right, and as you can hear, Robert is coming to us live from the center of the Earth. I'm above on the surface.
I'm so far away.
Yep, pretty good reception for the middle of the Earth.
It's not too bad. No corona down here yet.
That's true. The mole men are safe. Anyway,
yeah.
Back to the review. So, American Ninja, which is brought to us by Canon Group. So, the plot's a little convoluted and a little hard to explain without giving it away, but let's just say it's about a rebel young recruit in the army who doesn't play by anybody else's rules, who learns of a plot involving smuggling of arms near the military base that he is on in the Philippines.
Right.
Now,
he's got some sort of past he's got a special set of skills, so to speak.
Right. And thus, some suspect he may be a ninja. Now, interesting thing about this movie is brought to us by Canon Group. You know, Golan and Globus. And these guys... Right. Well, let me put it this way. With B movies, I think there's many rungs on the ladder, but I'd say the three basic levels are this. The bottom rung is the movies that are really badly shot, editing is bad, the music, everything is terrible, and it's usually centralized in one location, and there's a very minimal effort put. The middle rung is your trauma type movies where you had to lock down more than one location. You maybe had some extras and you had to get a stunt coordinator and you actually put some effort, but it's still a relatively small scope movie. And then you've got your top rung, and that's Canon Group. These are the movies where they try and do as much shit possible for as little money. So they're going all out. All efforts point towards it being a legit movie. Basically, the top rung is it's just not as expensive as, say, a big studio picture, but the effort's there and the production values are there where you could say it's passable as a smaller big studio movie or as a, mini major type movie or a big independent movie. Yeah,
I agree. And the way I would best, if someone were to watch this for the first time, the best way I could describe American Ninja is it's basically a lower budget version of Commando.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. It's also
with a little bit more ninja in it.
Yeah, you know what movie it's also very similar to? Enter the Ninja. Now, tell me if you've heard this one before. It's about a Caucasian fellow who is taken in by the ninjas and trained in their ways and is fighting people in the Philippines, and the movie was made by Canon Group.
I mean, that's pretty goddamn close.
I'm not joking. When I started watching this, because I've seen part of Enter the Ninja, I never finished it, but to be continued another day. I was watching this and I thought, have I seen this before? And what was weird is I said, now, I know this is in Philippines, but how did I know that? And it turns out it was just a guess because I was confusing the two movies.
That is fucking weird, man.
Yeah, so right off the bat, Canon Group, I saw that logo and I thought, yes! I was immediately delighted by that. They also brought us they brought us all the Death Wish sequels and what the hell is that movie, 10 to Midnight?
Yep.
Classic. I guess one thing I'll notice about this movie, right off the bat, you have an annoying, unlikable main character. But it's so awkwardly and clumsily presented that it just made me laugh. So I was willing to go with it. And it's funny, too, is, you know what occurred to me about halfway through the movie?
What's that?
I thought, this guy is trying so hard to channel James Dean and is just failing miserably. And I read somewhere that that's exactly who the producer said that Michael Dudikoff was going to be the next one of. Said, oh,
Really?
this guy, he's going to be the next James Dean. Yeah, so you care to chime in on your take on Joe Armstrong or whatever the hell his name is?
See, for me, I had a different take on it. I'm like, okay, they've clearly tailored this script to the fact that their actor can't deliver lines very well. So that's why he has fucking, like, literally, I want to say maybe 25 lines. I'll put the over-under at 25 lines, because he doesn't talk at all.
Yeah, that's true. He barely says anything. But another thing that occurred to me, again, using another 80s movie as a counterpoint, you can do the barely talking thing and bring a little dimension to your character. Take, for instance, grown-up Tommy in, what the hell, Friday the 13th 7 or whichever the fuck one it is.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? He doesn't say much, but you get the idea. That guy's a weirdo. And not like he's a weirdo where you think about the actual person in real life.
Yeah, no.
Like you watch this guy and you think, what's his deal? Is the script just this bad, or is he just this bad at acting?
Yeah, no, it's wacky, man. He is. He doesn't have a whole lot to do, and I thought it was like, the thing about it is, after watching this, for me, I was like, I get why this guy is not a household name, but I also kind of don't, because I'm like, on the other hand, you have guys like Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris who, like, are, I guess, better, but, like, how much better are they than Michael Dudikoff?
Well, I think
that much.
If we're talking acting, yeah, not so much. But martial arts skills, those guys are both lifelong martial artists. Interesting fact about Michael Dudikoff. You know he didn't have any martial arts training prior to this movie?
I honestly, you can kind of tell, but sort of not really.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's because he's not given a lot of hard moves, but like he performs some of them pretty flawlessly. He does a real good we're moving to spoilers. It's just too hard. When he's fighting the Black Star Ninja, he throws a pretty good spinning back kick. And I mean, you could teach someone to do that in a relatively short amount of time if they're an athletic person. And that was what the producer apparently assured Golan and Globus or whatever. They said, no, dude, trust me, this guy, he's an athlete. He'll pick up the moves.
Right.
And
no, you're right.
For the most part, he is passable. He does.
There's a lot in this that is passable. Like, I was, first of all, shocked because this is obviously, quote unquote, a B movie, but like, it's not like one of those B movies. Like, it starts off and you're like, oh, okay, there's a shootout, there's some killings, and you're like, okay, this has a budget. Like, people are eating shit and they're fucking getting kicked in the face and getting their throat cut open. And I'm like, this is like, the budget's pretty good.
Yeah.
The effects are decent.
Right. Well, some of them are. I love the guy. He's unloading a Mac 11 into, or not even, it's like an M16 into the car, and only one bullet strikes the car.
Yeah, no. Jesus
there's some classics. And how about the fact that during that opening brawl, the dude says, we lost 4 of our men. When you see, I counted, because I skimmed through this a second time just to make sure I got, the most I could out of this movie. And I counted the second time I was skimming through this after watching it in its entirety. There's at least 6 guys dead. And then, like, when they do the bigger ending establishing shot, there's just a pile of dead army dudes. And he's like, we lost 4 good men. Also, I just want to point something.
Those other fucking guys.
Yeah. Well, oh, no, that's right. Some of them could be the hijackers.
That's true.
The other thing that was very confusing is there's 3 teams. Of course, 2 of them are on the same team, the ninjas and the hijackers.
Right.
But that's not really clear initially, so I thought, what the hell is going on? I mean, if you watch closely, all of the hijackers have been either killed or apprehended, and the ninjas do only attack the army dudes. But that is really unclear to me. And what's hilarious about that is the whole plot with the arms deal and the smuggling, aside from the Senor Ortega or whatever the hell his name, the main bad guy, besides his one big speech about his private army of ninjas, a lot of the big plot elements are given in just really small, what seem like throwaway lines. Like, you blink and you miss them.
That first hijacking scene, you're right. It's like, it happens and you're like, it almost feels like two separate factions planned the same hijacking, but within like 15 minutes, like a 15-minute gap of each other. Like, oh shit, what a coincidence.
The ninjas saw the guns and said, shit, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to let them fight it out. They'll waste all their bullets, and then we'll be able to stab them, no problems.
Yeah, right. It's like, no, we're still going to do a hijacking today. We're just going to wait.
Also, I just want to point something out. When all the soldiers are mad at Joe, it's not really his fault, because he punches the one guy, and the hijackers just kind of say, hey, don't do that again. The person who's at fault is the colonel's daughter. She drives the car away. How she was going to get around a roadblock is beyond me. She's like, come on, what are you doing?
Fucked it up. So she totally fucked up the whole thing.
Yeah, it's her fault. She gets none of the blame. Instead, she's just a motor mouth. What are you doing? What are you, crazy? Oh, I'm not going to that water. Oh my God, I hate water. Her parts felt like she didn't have dialogue written for her.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's something I've noticed in B movies, particularly, is when they have those parts where they just ramble and they kind of say the same line over and over again, that makes me think that they were just given the direction, you're mad at him. Okay. It's like, what the hell do I look like? A graduate from Second City? No, it's like, just improv. You know how you actors do. No. Not always.
Right.
So I just thought,
it's pretty bad.
So that's her fault. That pretty much covers the, Act 1 for the most part.
The thing I'll say too is, I don't know why, but this movie for me, it got like instantaneously better when Steve James shows up, who plays Corporal Curtis Jackson. Like, that dude just like, I was like, this guy should have his own fucking movie, man.
Yeah, I felt like out of everyone, he and the sergeant were the two best actors.
Right.
Like, if I were to guess who's actually been in real projects, so not ninja movies, I'd guess those two.
Yeah.
Even then, though, the writing for everyone is just so bad that it kind of negates any good acting. For instance, with Jackson's character, man, we hate you because you got our men killed. All right, you kicked my ass. Hey, man, now we're best friends. Even though we still totally blamed you for getting our compatriots killed, I guess I'm cool with it now. And that was kind of a thing that was an ongoing gag in this. Emotional turnarounds that were much too quick. What's the big idea? I'm not going that water. Oh my God. I had such a good time running away from kidnappers. Call me.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of which, well, I might get court-martialed. Better go AWOL.
Oh my God, yeah.
I like how she's acting like she's, she's acting like she's just telling him to skip practice in high school.
Yeah, no, it's like, dude,
I wanted to see you. It's like, yeah, I know you wanted to see me, but if you do this again, you're not going to see me for a long time because I'll be in jail.
Yeah.
What about that court-martial? I almost want him to say, court-martial, smart-martial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So the plot kind of moves on. First of all, what is Senor Ortega's accent supposed to be? Because I couldn't tell if it was French or Israeli.
I thought it was for sure French, and I'm like, okay, so they're kind of doing like what are they doing?
A composite Bond villain.
Yeah, he's kind of like Ricardo Montalban, but not.
Yeah, except when I watched it the second time, again, throwaway line when they're on the date. Oh, that's the sergeant. He's a real pussycat, and that's Senor Ortega. I said, Senor Ortega? What? And then the one guy who's the dude he's supposed to be selling the weapons to, I don't know what his name was, but I couldn't tell if it was what he was speaking, Italian or Spanish. I thought it was Spanish.
It sounded Italian.
What?
It sounded Italian to me, but it could have been Spanish.
Yeah, because, I mean, I speak a really crappy amount of Spanish, and I don't know. Generally, I can tell if someone's talking for a long time, but in his little, I couldn't tell. I thought it was Italian. It was just very confusing.
Yeah. No, it's...
lots of confusing...
Where you're like, what?
Lots of confusing bad guy accents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you need that in a B movie from the 80s.
Right. So, basically, it turns out that the sergeant is in on this arms deal, so he's just getting his own soldiers killed, and I guess this is where the movie got confusing for me. Some of the army dudes are in on it, but some of them aren't.
Right.
So there's the arms deal that we've been talking about, and that's, we'll just call him Senor Bad Guy. So Senor Bad Guy has his private ninja ranch, and I love how my first initial thought was, ninja ranch or just circus performers that you dressed in ninja costumes?
A little bit.
Like they're doing tumbling and climbing on like monkey bars and shit. It was
yeah,
pretty...
there's a whole fucking obstacle course that during the final battle of the fucking movie, they the bad guy, they're like, or the Black Star Ninja, who's like basically the lieutenant bad guy.
Yeah.
And our main character have to like go through this obstacle course together.
Oh, that was great when it's like, thank God they had a rope for each of us to climb.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about the Black Star Ninja. You know what was weird about him? And I think a lot of the choreography was like this. Most of it was shot pretty competently. You could tell what was going on. And
I was really surprised at that, honestly. It was actually very competent.
Yeah. But what was the weird part about the choreography? The movements were good. Maybe the pacing or tempo was off. It's like a really good kick is thrown, but then there's a huge pause.
Right.
Or there's a guy waiting to get kicked. But while he's waiting, that kick that does come is a real good one. And I thought the Black Star... I don't know the dude's name. The Black Star Ninja was a pretty damn good performer.
His name is Tadashi Yamashita.
Yeah, so that dude was awesome. And like, you know what? I take that back. His acting was pretty good for what he was, For Lieutenant Ninja, bought it completely. One hilarious thing about him, though. Okay, so you know the part where the Senor Bad Guy is showing the buyer his ninja ranch? He says, look at my ninja ranch. And he's like, this is my Black Star Ninja. And then he just kills the one dude during training. I thought it would... Didn't you think it would have been a great gag if, like, he said he was honored to die by his hand. So they walk out, and then they walk back in the ranch. He's like, what the hell happened? And just all the ninjas are dead. They were training, and they weren't good enough, or some shit like that. He just kills all of them.
That was what cracked me up. It's like, dude, if you were just going to kill me anyway, like, why are we sparring with... Or why are we fighting with wooden staffs? Like, why didn't we fight with swords?
That's also an excellent point.
Yeah, but I don't care. It made me laugh.
Yeah. Another excellent point. Okay, so you know the part, Joe Hero thinks he's a badass. I thought, but isn't he? This guy thinks he's pretty cool throwing a screwdriver at a guy with a machine gun and killing him. Psh, what a pretender, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Also, just while on the subject of throwing shit, the double sword throw in the warehouse.
That was so bad.
Magnificent. That was the only really... You know what's funny? It was a really bad edit, but you could follow the action nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he just threw this fucking sword like 40 feet in the air. I'm like, no goddamn way. But all right.
Yeah, but the shot from on the ground makes it look like he just lightly swung it, like he's swinging a tennis racket or something.
Yeah, like he might as well have thrown it underhand.
Yeah. That would have been amazing if it was underhand.
There's a couple weird quirks, like I'll say overall, like the choreography, the way the movie's shot, it's pretty decent. It's watchable at the very least. I was never bored.
Yeah, I was never bored. Like, this is, for all intents and purposes, as I said, it's that top-level B movie that if this had a better script and better actors, it would be a real movie.
Yeah, and plus you get these little weird fucking, like, choreography quirks and edits where you're like, what the fuck was that? Like the part where the Black Star Ninja has been burying the lead the entire movie and reveals that he's got a fucking flamethrower and a fucking predator gauntlet on his ninja outfit.
Oh my god, you read my mind. I was literally just about to talk about when he shoots him with the laser. I laughed so hard.
I'm like, this is pre-Predator. I'm like, did Predator steal from the Black Star Ninja?
I was thinking about this movie. There's so many things I've seen in other movies.
Right, and this came out in 85, for fuck's sakes.
Okay, here's another one of those tropes, and I'd like to get verification at some point if this was the first one to truly do it. Okay, I think without a doubt my favorite part of this entire movie is during the car chase with the sergeant. So it's right before the big finale at the bad guy's ninja ranch. He's being chased by a sergeant in a car, and Joe runs the sergeant off the road, and this car just nudges the tree lightly and just goes up in a plume. It's just a gigantic explosion. Oh my god, that had me dying. That was my favorite part.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was my favorite part without a doubt in the entire movie.
Did you guys fucking build this Jeep over a fucking Ford Pinto? Like, what the hell?
I mean, it's going when it hits, it's going at a speed like as if I had just put it in neutral and just pushed it down the hill. It's going about that fast.
Also, dude, there's no doors on the fucking Jeep. Like, just jump out, bro.
Oh no! If only there was an opening.
Very fast.
What's that?
So you weren't approaching that tree very fast. Just fucking jump out.
Yeah. If only I could have jumped out. If there was a wide opening for me to leave the vehicle.
Right.
One thing I will say about the choreography that was like kind of weird, and I know it's part of a style, when he's doing the reverse grip of the sword in the warehouse, I thought, don't you usually do that with a dagger and then regular grip with the sword? I don't know. I thought that was real weird that he just, for the life of him, that whole fight scene just couldn't be bothered to hold it with the regular forward grip.
There's a lot of weird little choreography quirks. Like, it's almost like one of those blink and you miss it moments. But remember the part where they're like pre the Jeep chase scene where like Joe is running away from the house and like Steve James's character comes out and like kicks the rifle out of a dude's hand like he's about to fight him, and then the dude turns to like throw a punch and Steve James is like, nah, it's all good, dude. I was just playing around. You remember that part?
Kinda. Oh, that's what I mean. There's so many blink and you miss it moments.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, but speaking of funny choreography quirks, the sensei, oh, funny running into you here.
Yeah, like, what, do you live next door?
It's like, if you can find him, what the hell took you so long to track him down?
You're right.
But, he meets up with him, and of course he says, now's the time for you to truly become a ninja. Let me tell you something. That's one of the greatest movie moments ever when you finally see him suited up as a ninja.
Honestly.
It's kind of... It's weird, though, because normally when movies do that kind of thing where, oh, Jesus Christ, he's only a ninja, only really a full ninja for the, whatever, third act.
Right.
Like, sometimes that gets tedious. Or, you know, how, like, Fantastic Four, the Fan Four Stick one, they're not really Fantastic Four till the very end. You think, what the hell is this bullshit?
Right.
But this did it right because it's an entertaining, just regular action movie that it has very little to do with ninjas for the first 2/3, besides a few fight scenes. You kind of can ignore because it's good enough just as it is. And then once he becomes a ninja, they up the ante, and it's just spectacular.
I love that the master is like, here, we gotta get through the final part of your training. I wasn't done. When we got separated, there was one final part of the training you had to complete. Here, just put these clothes on and you'll be good.
Yeah.
They didn't fucking do anything.
Now, I know that when you were 12, you were pretty close to being a master killer, but, you know, we can complete the course in, I would say, roughly 5 hours. I also offer an online certificate for those who can't show up in person. Yeah. And then they go to the Bad Guy Island in what is quite possibly one of the best B-movie finales I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got epic ninja showdown between the ninjas and, the main character, who is accompanied by his sensei, but sacrifices himself. You got the army guys come fight the other hijacker bad guys that are not ninjas. And the whole time, I'm thinking, I mean, this movie is chock full of this, and I know we point this out in a lot of movies, and you can do it with a lot of great martial arts movies, too. Why don't you just shoot him? I think I said that.
Pretty much.
I must have said that a dozen times while watching this, and no more times were more apparent of that than the finale. All right, we've got this guy just standing in the middle of daylight wearing a black suit. I'm pretty sure we can kill him.
Did you notice? So, I pay attention to music in movies a lot.
Oh, God.
The music a couple times in this, I'm like, I'm not sure I would have gone with that cue for this moment. So, like, the part when the master sacrifices himself, there's like, they still have like the action music playing, and like like they show the master dying, there's like a trombone, a trombone's going like, I'm like, this is the cue you would use for like a dude falling down the stairs and shitting his pants.
Yeah, a little more, a little less Felix the Cat, please. A little more serious.
Yeah, no, I'm like, guys, no.
Also, you know the trumpet at the beginning. You know,
he was trying so hard.
Yeah, I know. I'm just imagining this guy who's just who looks like the opera. I'm just imagining a guy like turning red and purple, like the opera singer in Looney Tunes. Like he's just dying in the sound booth.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was just me. I'm like, this trumpeter is really fucking trying.
Yeah, no, you definitely were not the only one who noticed it. Also, the Colonel was in on it too. What a twist. Oh. Yeah, of course. But or not. You know?
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna fight my own offensive against this guy. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and then I love how they preemptively kidnap the daughter as if they knew he was going to turn on them. It's like,
right.
The Black Star Ninja is sitting in the back, and he says, "Well, he turned on us." It's like, did you kidnap her because we knew this was going to happen? Sure did. It all works out. Yeah. But that's a truly epic finale. Get more Jackson coming in there, beating ass. You got tanks.
All First Blood style.
Yeah. You got tanks. You got gunfire. You got ninja fights and explosions. And of course, no one thinks to shoot the ninjas, but that's neither here nor there. And then...
And laser beams.
Yeah, and laser beams. Really, like, what more could you possibly want out of the finale?
Right.
But remember, Senor Bad Guy, he was getting a deal that was worth $4 million.
Yep.
I love how he's talking about $4 million like he could buy a country with that.
Right.
Yeah, but... and then finally, Jackson says, all right, I'm just going to shoot the helicopter. I hope you get off in time.
Well, it's so weird. Like, the dynamics of the ending, like, really, like... So he takes, Ortega, like, takes, what's her name? What's the daughter? Patricia, or whatever her name is?
Well, Colonel's daughter.
Yeah, he, like, takes her, and then he's like, let me go, or, like, you know, don't shoot me, or whatever, or, you know, let me get on this helicopter, and I'll let you have her. And, like, they do, but he takes her anyway. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You could just leave.
And then he shoots the Colonel, and they totally don't address it at all in the ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the $500 question of the day. How badly do you think both stunt people broke their ankles jumping out of that helicopter on that roof?
Oh man, I was like, that is not a pedestrian ass jump. Like that's a bit, man.
That really looked like that hurt like hell. Like you see the impact.
There's a couple of those, like the part where the motorcycle jump, where he jumps in the air, and I'm like, the suspension. There had to be 3 motorcycles on this set because the suspensions on that one are fucked.
Yeah,
that thing like sunk into the ground.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that goes to show, though, the stunt work, for the most part, was really quite good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially for a lower-budget movie. But then he says...
I agree.
Yeah. And then he just says, all right, I guess Jackson says, well, I'll just use this highly experimental, volatile machinery to blow up this helicopter. Gee, I hope Joe just jumps off in time. Luckily for him, Joe does jump off in time. And then kablooey. You can't have a great action finale without something exploding. And a helicopter, I think, was a great choice. Also, I love how the other bad guy buyer just sees the war breaking out, and Senor Bad Guy is just saying, no, dude, it's cool. No, let's complete the deal. He says, yeah, no, I'm out of here. He says, no one leaves my deal, and then just shoots his ass.
Yeah, he takes the money, and it's like, dude, you had this in the bag. You could have just gotten the helicopter and left, but you had to fuck with the Colonel's daughter, and you had to fuck with Joe.
He goofed. He sure did.
He done goofed.
So it's pretty apparent that we both enjoyed this movie. Whether or not we mean that in the most sincere of ways, I guess we'll move on to scores. So for B movies, we do a separate scoring system. It's out of 2 bombs. 1 bomb being a movie that's just bad, and 2 bombs means a movie that's so bad it's good. And I'm going to give this the official certified 2 out of 2 bombs. I enjoyed the hell out of this. The parts that were supposed to be entertaining, whether it was seriously entertaining or just because it was funny, they were all entertaining, and I was never bored. So I'm giving this the 2 out of 2 bombs.
You know, I'm going to have to push with you. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2, or on my regular scale, it would probably be like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's
really good time with it. Like it's just like a really like breezy watch. There's not a lot to think about in this. There's a lot of laughing, a lot of like pretty good action. And you know what the best part is too? Well, I guess the future will determine whether this is the best part or not. There's like 5 more of these movies.
Oh hell yeah! I'm definitely gonna watch all of these.
Oh yeah, there's a whole catalog.
Yeah. So that'll do it for our review of Next Time Check for a Body When You Run Over a Motorcycle.